What up, rough leaders? Welcome back to my channel. What you're looking here is the Demerara Harbour Bridge. So this is the entrance to the Demerara Harbour Bridge, and you can see there's a long line of traffic waiting to get onto the bridge. The bridge is actually under repair right now, and so they're only allowing traffic in one direction. So traffic coming from the west bank to the east bank, that is traffic heading into Georgetown, is flowing, but traffic waiting to cross the bridge over to the west bank is waiting. So the problem is that the bridge is facing congestion because it's inadequate. The new river bridge, new Demerara River Bridge, is actually being built slightly east. What you can see from this location is the cranes. Those cranes are in fact working on the pillars, the supporting risers that are coming out of the riverbed, and they are being built currently slightly slightly south of the current location of the Demerara Harbour Bridge. So this is Peters Hall, and the new bridge is now, that is, the construction is now, look at the construction cranes are now visible above the treetops. That means progress with the construction has now reached the point where you can see where the bridge is being built. Now they're going to also need to build approach roads to that bridge and a ramp to the bridge, which means that they will extend probably well beyond this neighborhood, right? This neighborhood becomes the neighborhood underneath the bridge, and quite likely that bridge, the bridge approach roads, will extend into the local Nandi Park and Republic Park neighborhoods. So waiting to see how that transformation occurs. But what I wanted to do this morning is just to show you what's happening here in the Peters Hall area as far as the construction of the bridge. Where I am right now is the overpass. I'm standing on the overpass. This is the overpass at Peters Hall. This is the traffic at the intersection near to the overpass. This traffic is lined up to get onto the bridge, Demerara Harbour Bridge, and that's traffic moving north into the city, moving towards Georgetown. You can see there traffic policemen in the intersection and standing on the side. These guys manage traffic at this very busy intersection, and that's the East Bank Public Road heading into Georgetown. On the other side is the East Bank Public Road. That's the public road heading to Georgetown, but coming towards the bridge, coming towards Peters Hall. So beyond, you can see that's Republic Park, based on the sign there. Republic Park, and beyond that is Nandi Park. So what I'm showing you is the location of the new Demerara River Bridge. You can see the cranes, right? You can see the cranes. You're actually looking through the mesh here. The cranes are above the trees, and the bridge approach, that is the approach roads and the ramps onto the bridge, will have to pass over this public road. I guess they're gonna have to use some kinds of clover leaf entrance ramps to get you onto the bridge. But that is all that you can see from this location. I have tried to get onto the bridge, to walk onto the Demerara Harbour Bridge, so that we could actually see from the river the location of the new bridge. But the police have closed the bridge to pedestrian traffic. There is a pedestrian walkway that allows you to walk across the bridge, but currently that pedestrian walkway is closed for repairs. And even though I asked permission at the Bridge Corporation office, I was not granted permission to walk onto the entrance ramp, that is the approach road. In other words, I couldn't get close to the river so that I could look at the bridge from the Demerara Harbor Bridge. But we'll be able to do that in future, or we'll probably have to put up a drone and take a look at what we can see from a drone. But so far, this is what is visible of the Demerara River Bridge, the construction of the new Demerara River Bridge. And as I explained, the construction of river bridges or major infrastructure such as this is not new. This is has been done in New York, and in fact most major cities that have built this kind of infrastructure, what they do is they create a corporation, right? In New York, for example, it is the Port Authority. Port Authority Corporation is responsible for the airports and the tunnels and some of the bridges in New York. The Triborough Bridge Authority was responsible for building the Triborough Bridge and a number of the other approach roads and bridges in New York. So typically what they do is they set up an authority such as the Triborough Bridge Authority in Guyana. Here it's the Demerara River Bridge Corporation, Demerara Harbor Bridge Corporation. And that corporation is allowed to seek loans from the banks, right? So the banks will provide the funding. So the people who are arguing that the bridge should be built with cash from the Sovereign Wealth Fund, that is not how infrastructure is typically normally built. The reason why is that by setting up a corporation, you can borrow money from the bank and then you can create a business, because the bridge is eventually going to require tolls, right? It's going to recover the cost of construction through tolls over many years. So you set up tolls, and those tolls will recoup the cost of the bridge over 30 or 40 years. And that is how a bridge is usually built, which is why you don't have to spend down the few $1 billion we have in our Sovereign Wealth Fund to build bridges. By using this method of setting up corporations and borrowing the money from banks and lending institutions, we should be able to build several bridges across the Demerara River. We should also be able to build tunnels. My guess is that you need at least 6 bridges and tunnels. I think you need about 7 of them in Georgetown alone, just to connect the east side of the river with the west side of the river. And that is what will fuel the growth, that is the economic growth of the west side, right? The bridges that are being built will create economic opportunities to expand and grow on the west side. So you need several of these bridges, and you don't want to spend cash to build them. You want to borrow money and use a corporation structure to pay for it. So that is how bridges are built. I hope this helps you understand the current situation with building and funding the Demerara River Bridge. Currently the cost is about 260 million have been spent, $263 million have been spent, but the total cost of building such a bridge will probably end up over $1 billion US. And that money has to come from somewhere. It's best to come from the loans, from bank loans and from bilateral loans with governments such as China, because based on the growth rate of the country, those loans can be covered over time. But that's how that works, guys. So those guys who still don't understand how money works, this is how large infrastructure money works. I recommend reading the book The Power Broker by Robert Caro to understand how the bridges in New York City were built. Robert Caro explains how Robert Moses, a lot of the infrastructure, the roads, the parkways, the bridges, the tunnels in New York City, and in fact in New York State, right? The New York State Thruway, the Parkway, Robert Moses Parkway at Buffalo, New York, the power plant, right? These are all built by Robert Moses, and that book, The Power Broker, explains how it was done. So that's it, guys. If you want to see more content like this, click like and subscribe, share this video with friends and family around the world. Let people know what's happening in the fastest growing country in the world. This is the overpass here at Peters Hall, and I'm just showing you what the Demerara Harbor Bridge traffic looks like on a weekday morning. This is Thursday morning in August, and how the new bridge is likely to change the current traffic situation. The new bridge just coming up over the trees here at Republic Park. Share this video with friends and family around the world. Let people know what's happening in the fastest growing country in the world, Guyana. Later!